At 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yale students are on day 5 of pro-Palestinian protests, now taking over the quad at Cross Campus.
The response to the protests taking a 180 since yesterday, where more than 40 students were arrested and kicked out of a popular campus plaza. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has a breakdown.
Well, last night, the students made their way from a busy intersection in downtown New Haven to this stretch of grass on campus. Now, ever since, they've been sitting here talking, chanting, even hosting classes outside as they wait for their demands for the university to be met. Yale students now on day 5 of a pro-Palestinian protest, calling for a ceasefire in the war in Gaza and answers from their university on its involvement in investing in companies dealing with weapons manufacturing.
We're just holding a space in community with each other.
Chisato Kimura, a Yale law student and one of the organizers of the protests, says some students camped out overnight, with hundreds of others joining them during the day.
In solidarity with each other, recognizing what's continuing to happen in Gaza and continuing to recognize Yale's complicity in it.
Kimura and her peers are demanding Yale's Board of Trustees disclose their investments and then for the university to divest.
Yale has refused to disclose their investments up until this point, so that's what we're waiting for.
The campus protests began on Friday, with the university taking action Monday morning, first asking students camping out in tents to leave before arresting 48 of them. Then they joined other community members, continuing their cause in the middle of a busy New Haven intersection.
As long as you are being nonviolent, you are free to express whatever opinion you want to. That's covered under the First Amendment.
That being said, Kenneth Gray, a senior lecturer of criminal justice at the University of New Haven, says Yale does have the discretion to ask protesters to leave when it goes against campus policy.
It's up to the university to decide at what level is acceptable and what level is too much.
So far on Tuesday, despite campus security surrounding the protesters and more officers stationed in other parts of campus, police have not made any moves, and the students don't plan to either.
I think we've made it pretty clear to them that if they did disclose, we would start considering meeting with them.
Now, we did reach out to the university for an updated comment today, but we did not hear back. We are, however, hearing from the Center for Jewish Life here at Yale, their executive director sending a statement saying, in part, quote, "We respect the rights of all to express their views, but this week, the campus environment crossed the line into open anti-Semitism." Now, the organizers here say those fears do need to be addressed, but they also say there have been people from several groups here on campus taking part in the protests, including some Jewish students. We're here at Yale. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
A man who pleaded guilty to killing a Yale grad student has been sentenced to 35 years in prison. Police say former MIT grad student Chin Pan shot and killed Kevin Jiang in February 2021. Pan was on the run for 4 months before police arrested him in Alabama.
New details tonight about an officer-involved shooting in Brooklyn last year. The Office of Inspector General says the shooting was justified. It all happened last May when state police were evicting 59-year-old Byron Harvey from his Tiffany Street apartment. Body cam video shows Harvey holding a large military-style knife before he advanced toward Trooper Romello Lumpkin and Sergeant Brian Lovell. Seconds later, Trooper Lumpkin shot Harvey, who was wounded and sent to the hospital.
A man is in custody tonight accused of shooting a person this morning and then leading police on a chase. West Haven police say they arrived at a home on Coleman Street for reports of a person who was shot. The victim was taken to the hospital and they're expected to be okay. The suspect, though, led police on a chase into Stratford, where they were eventually arrested.
Well, South Windsor police want to find whoever strapped a dog to a tree branch with its collar. With its collar. The dog is okay, but the images are disturbing. They say around 11 yesterday morning, someone found the dog restrained to a large branch at the Frank Niederwerfer Wildlife Sanctuary. The inside of the collar has the name Kobe written on it. Now officers want to find who put the dog there. If you know who this dog belongs to, please give South Windsor Police a call.
New tonight in the small town of Portland, there's an urgent cry from homeowners because their houses are sinking. Now they want state leaders to bail them out before it's too late. Fox 61's Matt Caron is in Portland to give us a lay of the land.
Well, take a look behind me. This is Job's Pond, and there's supposed to be a beach here. It's gone. And if you take a look across the pond, well, all those houses, they're supposed to have backyards. Those are gone too. And if you take a look through the tree line here, you'll see what was a pavilion. Now only the roof is above water. And it's rising every day.
Yeah, every day. Yeah.
Inch by precious inch. Portland's pondside residents are pumping.
I guess 11 pumps are running now.
I couldn't keep up with the water.
To save their property.
An abundance of water.
We shouldn't be in this mess. This is not our fault.
Created by a glacier, Job's Pond is fed by underground springs, storm runoff, and culverts. A lot of water coming in with no exit. This is the result.
I got 5 concrete blocks here, height-wise, that I've had to raise the air conditioner.
Roy Ivers has lived here for 15 years. Retired, his new full-time job is keeping his retirement home afloat. So far, he's losing the battle. There's 70 inches of water in his basement.
We're moving out. Moved all the appliances out of the house. We're packing it up and moving it out. We're figuring it's going to hit the floorboards another week.
House by house, you see the devastation. Submerged staircases, saturated sandbags, decks turned into docks.
That's a hill. It's supposed to be a beach. Now it's almost to the top of this patio.
Jean Bishop's home has been in the family for 5 generations, wondering if this will be the last.
Sometimes I'm angry and sometimes I'm crying. It just depends on the day.
All they can do is pump and wait.
We're waiting for one of the powers that be to say they'll get rid of this water and then get us a long-term fix. We need help, but we can't wait 3 months.
I just wish we could do something quicker.
Portland's first selectman Ryan Curley told Fox 61 the town is in close coordination with the state and federal government on a fix that could include pumping water out or installing an outflow culvert.
I certainly know that time is of the essence for these residents. I've been down to the pond several times myself now. I've spoken with the residents many times. I share their concerns. I promise the town of Portland is doing everything that we can.
So the problem here really can't be overstated. Of the few residents who remain, they've had to cut off their power because they don't want to get electrocuted. Others have their septic tanks submerged. The town says they have applied for grant money from the USDA Emergency Watershed Conservation Program, and tomorrow Senator Blumenthal is expected to be here meeting with these residents, but by then the water level will have risen by another inch. Reporting in Portland, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
So distressing. We wish them the best. Well, turning to the weather now, a beautiful day across the state. If you were in the sunshine, it was warm. In the shade, it was pretty cool. We're taking a live look right now across Hartford. It was a pretty mild day, though, I guess.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with what we can expect for the rest of the week, and we can expect it not to be like this.
Yeah,
really
we've got more clouds coming in as we head into the day tomorrow, and even a few showers as well. You can kind of see these showers stretching from Canada down through Cincinnati, and a lot of this will end up passing to the north of us. So tomorrow's not a washout. It will actually be kind of pleasant in between the showers, which we'll show you in just a moment. But right now we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s rather across the state. Low 60s though for Windsor Locks, and heading through the evening tonight we'll be tumbling back into the 40s as we're gearing up for the news at 11. No frost tonight, but it will come back later this week. Overnight lows in the 40s. We're going to start the day off tomorrow with a few of those scattered showers out there. Around early afternoon, we might see a couple breaks of sunshine, and then there is an additional chance for a spotty shower or an isolated rumble of thunder. High temperatures tomorrow will be in the low to mid 60s, and then I think for the late afternoon and early evening, we clear back out again. So I think by this time tomorrow, it will actually be really nice, and then it'll pick pick up the wind a little bit, pumping in some cooler temperatures, and then it gets even colder as we head into Thursday morning. Colder than this morning was. In fact, it is not a frost advisory in effect, but a freeze watch with temperatures that could drop back near and even below freezing as we head into Thursday morning. We'll talk all about it. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. This morning, state officials, lawmakers, and community leaders from across Connecticut gathered at the state capitol for the 10th annual Latino Legislative Summit.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorse was there. She joins us now in studio with more. Emma.
Sarah, Bren, legislative leaders from both the Black and Puerto Rican and the Puerto Rican and Latino caucuses celebrated the 10th anniversary of this summit this morning, saying it's an important event meant to empower the state's Latino community.
Our community are getting better and better. Our people becoming more successful. And we all helping to improve the quality of life.
Tuesday, lawmakers and advocates celebrated the 10th annual Latino Legislative Summit.
Connecticut is one of the most diverse, welcoming states in the country. I love the fact that each and every one of you feel at home here. I love the fact that we have one of the most diverse administrations in the history of this state.
Attendees discussed issues impacting the hundreds of thousands of Latino residents across Connecticut, with a focus on financial equity, home ownership, and voter rights.
There's a lack of affordable housing. There's a lack of health care. There's a lack of quality childhood education.
The event began with a presentation on the status of Latinos in the state.
In the case of Puerto Ricans and Hispanics, they have the lowest wage salary incomes in the state historically.
Followed by panel discussions on advancing financial stability, pathways to social equity for first-time home buyers, and protecting and expanding voting rights.
I work very hard to make sure that in our administration, in your schools, at the university, each and every one of you and your kids can look and say, hey, there's somebody that looks like me.
Lawmakers say the summit is also a chance to highlight the contributions and build greater awareness of the state's growing Latino community.
We're here to make sure that the policies that we put forth here at the General Assembly does not negatively impact our communities. This is our building. This building belongs to all of us.
This afternoon's event also featured a special ceremony honoring Dr. Zulma Toro, president of Central Connecticut State University. Lawmakers and attendees say they left today's summit feeling encouraged and are ready to fight for more progress for the Latino community. Sarah.